Only a few days left until we finally get the love and drama-filled second season of Maxton Hall, and I honestly can't sit still from excitement. I know you're just as excited as I am, so let's take a look at what will happen in Season 2, Episode 1. First, we should start with where we left off in Season 1, because the second season picks up exactly from that moment. The biggest event of last season was, without a doubt, the death of James's mother. Just when James decided to finally follow his dreams, his entire world fell apart. And for the first time in the series, we saw him stand up to his father in such a strong way. In the final scene, he went to Ruby's house but couldn't bring himself to talk to her. As for Ruby, things were of course much better for her compared to James. In the finale, she was genuinely happy with her family, and her Oxford interviews went really well. But what happened to James is definitely going to affect Ruby's life too. Now that we've reminded ourselves of the season finale, it's time to talk about what's going to happen in episode 1 of season 2. As we saw in the new season trailer, the first episode will begin with the funeral of James and Lydia's mother, Cordelia. After the funeral, we'll see James completely hit rock bottom. He'll probably feel so lost that he won't even be able to go to school for a while. But what's worse is that while going through all of this, James's father Mortimer will pressure him to stay away from Ruby, and judging by the trailer, being under this much pressure will completely throw James off balance. And in the middle of all that grief and pain, James won't want to drag Ruby into his darkness, especially when he sees that she's doing well. That's why he'll decide not to tell her about his mother's death. The sad part is, as we know from the books, Ruby finds out about James's mother's death much later. That means it will be really hard for her to understand why James is acting distant and shutting everyone out during this time. And on top of that, when she sees the scene from the trailer where James kisses another girl at a party, it basically confirms that Ruby and James will break up right in the first episode of the new season. So, what happens after the breakup? Well, James will finally realize what he's done. His first move will be trying to find a way to apologize to Ruby, and I think at this point, he might get some help from his sister Lydia. But unfortunately, things won't be easy for Lydia either. As you remember, she was pregnant last season and was determined to keep her baby. If the show continues to follow the books, we'll find out that Lydia is actually pregnant with twins, so I don't think she'll be able to fully support James during her pregnancy. However, since Ruby and Lydia had reconciled toward the end of last season, I believe Ruby will be the first person to help Lydia during her pregnancy. While helping her, Lydia might end up telling Ruby what James has been going through and how their mother's death completely broke him. Once Ruby learns the truth, I think she will forgive James, but I don't think that forgiveness will happen in the very first episode. So most likely, we'll only see the shocking breakup between them in the beginning. I know it already sounds heartbreaking, but unfortunately, this season is going to be Maxton Hall's darkest one yet. Because even from the first episode, we'll see Cyril getting caught up in even more drama. We already saw his growing interest in Lydia at the end of last season, and that interest will only intensify. But what he doesn't know is that Lydia's heart still belongs to Graham, and she's pregnant with his twins. If someone like Cyril finds out about that, I think he might try to take revenge on Lydia for rejecting him and possibly even get both Lydia and Graham expelled from school. Of course, all of this won't happen in the first episode, but we'll definitely see the first signs of his jealousy being planted. As for other side characters I expect to shine this season, I'd say Ruby's sweet sister Ember and Ruby's Oxford friend Jude. Honestly, I think Ember is by far the most adorable and lovable character in the series. That's why I believe we'll see more of her this season, especially as she supports Ruby through this tough time. And if Ember starts studying at Maxton Hall too, she'll definitely become Ruby's safe space amid all the chaos. Things are a bit more complicated for Jude. Even though he's a genuinely good guy, I don't really think he and Ruby will end up together. But after Ruby breaks up with James, she might find the comfort and support she needs in Jude. And since there will be more developments related to Oxford, I think the two will stay in touch, which could lead to a simmering tension between James and Jude throughout the season, something we already got a glimpse of back in season 1. All right, now let's talk about when we'll finally get to watch this love and drama-filled series. Like I said, we're counting down the days because Maxton Hall Season 2 premieres on November 7th, and the best part is, just like last time, we'll be able to watch the entire season on day 1. Now, it's your turn. What are you most excited to see in Maxton Hall Season 2? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Maxton Hall. See you in the next one.